Breathing is the bridge that connects life to consciousness, uniting your body with your mind. Whenever your mind wanders, use your breath as a means to regain control. Stop breathing now. At least stop doing it the way you were taught. The deep breathing that most people know doesn't calm you down. It stifles your true potential. There's a forgotten key in the writings of Thoth, a literal technique called wind in the belly, that does the opposite. It awakens your monad. We're not talking about relaxation, we're talking about activating your power. Today, I'm going to give you the practical guide to get out of survival mode and ignite your divine spark. But knowledge only works for those who have a purpose. Before I share the technique with you, scroll down to the comments and declare to the universe, what is the biggest change you need to manifest in your life today? Write it in your own words, like a royal decree, and let's begin. The secret you shouldn't know. It is written on the emerald tablet. The sun is your father, the moon is your mother, the wind carried you in its belly. Most people think this is a metaphor. Thoth taught that the wind is conscious breath, prana, and carrying in the belly is the secret to storing this energy in the solar plexus to create the monad within you. Today, you will learn the breath of the wind. They knew that the wind isn't the breeze blowing outside. It's something you do every second of every day, without ever paying attention. Your own breath. And the most shocking part, carrying in the belly, isn't a metaphor for gestation. It's the literal instruction to unlock an immense power that lies dormant right at the center of your body. An energy they called the monad, your divine spark, your true identity. What seemed like a simple poem is in fact the map to a science of the soul, an inner technology that can change everything. Think about it. You breathe about 20,000 times a day on autopilot. Each of those breaths is a missed opportunity, a chance to access a state of consciousness you didn't even know existed. The journey to awaken this power doesn't begin with complicated rituals, difficult books, or dogmas you need to accept. It begins with the most fundamental act of your existence, an act that, up to this very moment, you have performed incorrectly in a way that keeps you trapped in the reality you know. The system we live in doesn't want you to discover this. It needs your breathing to be short, anxious, held in your chest. A survival breath, because while you breathe like that, your mind is agitated, your body is in a constant state of alert, and you become easy to control, to manipulate. You become a perfect consumer, always seeking something outside to fill a void that, in reality, can only be filled from within. The secret is not in adding something to your life, but in awakening what is already there. This wisdom does not belong to any specific religion, but it was at the foundation of all of them before being corrupted and hidden. The yogis in India, the monks in the mountains of Tibet, the mystics in the desert, they all knew the power of conscious breathing. They knew that the air that enters their lungs carries not only oxygen, it carries a vital force, an energy that can be directed to heal the body, calm the mind, and ultimately awaken one's true divine nature, one's monad. And if you feel you were born for something greater and want a practical guide to awaken your true power and live life to the fullest, I'm preparing something special. Comment, monad. Leave a comment below so I know you want this transformation. Soon we'll bring you a very special guide that will help you with this transformation. But today, in this video, what we are about to explore is not a theory, it's a practice. A technology that has been tested and proven for millennia, but kept secret for a reason. Because a person who masters their own inner energy cannot be controlled. They become sovereign of their own reality. The journey to activate this force begins now, understanding how this simple act, breathing, works as a bridge between the world you see and another world that exists within you. Your breath is the strangest and most powerful thing you possess. Think about it. It happens on its own, without you needing to think about it. But at any moment, you can take control. You can make it slower, faster, deeper. No other vital function of your body gives you this power. It is literally a suspended bridge between your conscious world and your unconscious world, between the physical and the non-physical. And every ancient culture that reached a high level of wisdom discovered this bridge and gave it a name. In India, they called it prana. It wasn't just air. It was the vital energy of the universe, the force that animates all things. In China, it was qi, the energy that flows through meridians in the body and that acupuncture seeks to balance. For the ancient Greeks, it was pneuma, which meant both breath and spirit or soul. They saw no difference. They knew that changing the way you breathe is the quickest and most direct way to alter your own consciousness, to change the way you perceive and interact with reality. This isn't simply about getting more oxygen to the brain. It's an act of transmutation. Each breath, when taken with intention, becomes a silent question you ask the universe. You are drawing in not just air, but information, energy, life. And each exhale becomes an act of surrender, of letting go of control, of releasing the person you believed yourself to be, with all your worries, fears, and limitations. It's a constant cycle of receiving and releasing, of connecting and detaching. We are on the threshold of knowledge that has been deliberately forgotten. A path where the simple act of filling your lungs becomes the vehicle for the most important journey any human being can take. The journey into oneself. But how does this bridge really work? What happens in your brain, in your nervous system, in your energy field, when you consciously decide to cross it for the first time? The answer is not as mystical as it seems, but it is far more powerful than you imagine. When you breathe shallowly and rapidly, holding your breath in your chest, you are sending a constant warning signal to your brain, a signal that there is danger, that you need to fight or flee. You live in a chronic state of stress, even if there is no real threat. Your body produces cortisol, your mind fires anxious thoughts, and you are trapped in a survival cycle. You are not living, you are only reacting. The bridge in this state is closed. You are stuck on this side, in the world of matter and fear. But when you start breathing slowly, deeply, using your diaphragm, something changes. You send a new signal to your brain, a signal of safety, of calm, of peace. And that's where the magic happens. The bridge begins to open, perception expands, you move out of reaction mode and into creation mode. But before you can cross that bridge completely, there's a barrier. An invisible armor that you've built throughout your life and that is now suffocating you without you realizing it. If you've ever had the chance to watch a sleeping baby, you've seen breathing in its purest form. Their little tummy rises and falls in a gentle wave, their whole body participating in this movement, surrendering to the flow of life. There's no tension, no blockage. Now look at most adults, perhaps even yourself at this very moment. Their breathing is short, shallow, almost imperceptible, trapped in the upper chest. What happened along the way between being that baby and the adult you are today? The answer is, life happened. Every scare you had, every time you swallowed back tears, every moment of anger you suppressed to avoid causing trouble, every word you left unsaid, none of it disappeared. That emotional energy remained trapped in your body, transforming into chronic muscle tension. It's as if you built, layer by layer, an invisible armor around your heart and core. An armor that, at first, served to protect you from pain, but which, over time, began to isolate you from life itself. A psychoanalyst named Wilhelm Reich studied this in depth and gave it a name: character armor. He realized that our traumas and repressions create patterns of physical tension that block the natural flow of vital energy. This armor is not just muscular, it's energetic. They are knots in your system, blockages that prevent you from fully feeling joy, love, and peace. You become a little harder, a little more closed off, a little more disconnected with each passing year, without even realizing what you are losing. And this is where conscious breathing becomes a tool for liberation. When you begin to breathe deeply and connectedly, you inevitably begin to touch those knots of tension. You are literally pumping life and energy into areas of your body that have been frozen for years. And what happens when ice melts? Water flows. Similarly, when you breathe into these tensions, the old emotions that were trapped there begin to surface to be released. It can be uncomfortable. A wave of sadness can arise out of nowhere. A rage you didn't even know existed can burn inside. Old fears can resurface. Many people get scared at this stage and stop, returning to short, safe breaths. They prefer the familiarity of imprisonment to the discomfort of liberation. But the only way out is through. You need the courage to keep breathing through these sensations, allowing them to move and leave your system forever. It's a process of purification, of breaking the chains from within. Each deep breath becomes an act of courage, a declaration that you are no longer afraid to feel. You are breaking the armor, not with brute force, but with the gentleness and persistence of your own breath of life. And as this armor crumbles, you begin to realize that breathing is not random. It follows a map, a sacred cycle with 4 distinct seasons that, once understood, become the key to self-transformation. The secret map of breathing. Now that you understand the need to break through the armor, you need a map to navigate this new territory. Imagine that each complete cycle of your breath is a journey with 4 stops, 4 sacred stations. The ancient masters of breathwork didn't see this as a simple mechanical process of air entering and leaving. They saw it as a ritual of power, an opportunity to recreate oneself at every instant. And the first station of this journey is inhalation, the act of drawing air in. But this isn't just any inspiration, it's a conscious act of gathering your energy. Think about how your attention is always fragmented, scattered in 1,000 directions. At work, on social media, on worries. Conscious inspiration is the act of calling all that energy back home, to the center of your being. You are becoming whole again, filling yourself not just with air, but with presence. It's the moment to receive, to nourish yourself with the life force of the universe. The second stage is the most subtle and perhaps the most powerful. The pause after inhalation. that brief moment when the lungs are full before you begin to exhale. Most people pass through this point without even noticing, but it is a moment of maximum power. Your body is saturated with prana, with energy. It is an instant of suspended fullness, where the mind can quiet down and consciousness can glimpse its true nature, complete and flawless. It is the point of pure potential before movement. The third stage is exhalation, and for many it is the most difficult. It is the movement of surrender, of letting go, of releasing. In our culture, we are taught to accumulate, to hold on, to control. Exhalation teaches us the opposite path. It is the sacrifice of what has been accumulated, the symbolic death of the clinging ego. By exhaling completely, you are releasing not only carbon dioxide, but also tension, stress, old thoughts, and stagnant emotions. You are creating space for the new. And finally, the fourth stage, the most mysterious and profound of all, the pause after exhalation. The moment when your lungs are empty before you feel the need to inhale again. This is the plunge into the void, into fertile silence. The Western mind fears the void, but Eastern sages revere it. It is in the void that true transformation happens. It is the dark womb where the new self is gestated, far from the noise of the ego. It is the 0 point, the field of all possibilities. This four-stage cycle, repeated consciously, becomes your daily practice of inner alchemy. Inhale, pause, exhale, pause. Gather, potentiate, release, transform. You are learning to die to the old and be reborn to the new with each breath. But to master this map and truly make the energy circulate, you need to understand a crucial physical component, a master key within your body that responds directly to this rhythm, and that modern science has only now begun to decipher. Ancient sages didn't need laboratories to know that mind and body are inseparable. The famous Hermetic principle, as above, so below, already said it all. What happens in your consciousness is directly reflected in your biology. Today, modern science, with all its technology, is finally beginning to prove this age-old wisdom. And the central piece of this puzzle, the direct connection between your breath and your state of being, has a name: the vagus nerve. Think of the vagus nerve as the conductor of your parasympathetic nervous system, the part responsible for calming everything down, for taking you out of emergency mode. It extends from the brain to the abdomen, touching the heart, lungs, and digestive organs. When you practice slow, deep, diaphragmatic breathing, you are literally massaging and activating this nerve. And what happens when it is activated? It releases neurotransmitters like acetylcholine, which act as a natural brake for your body. Your heart rate slows, your blood pressure drops, and your mind, which was previously in a whirlwind of anxiety, begins to quiet down. You move out of the fight or flight state, fueled by adrenaline and cortisol, and enter a state of rest and digestion, a state of peace, regeneration, and healing. This, in itself, is transformative. But the hidden breath, the secret of the wind in the belly, goes far beyond simply relaxing. Relaxation is only the first step, the preparation of the ground. The real secret begins when you learn to direct the energy you capture in your breath, prana, to a specific point in your abdomen in the solar plexus region. This is where the instruction to carry the wind in your belly becomes practical. By doing this, you begin to awaken a powerful energy that lies dormant at the base of your spine, an energy that yogic traditions call Kundalini, the serpent of fire. an immense creative force that, when dormant, keeps us in survival mode. It is crucial to understand that this is not a process to be forced. Attempting to awaken Kundalini with violence or impatience is dangerous and can lead to serious imbalances. It is a natural unfolding, like a flower opening when spring arrives. The practice of conscious and deep breathing prepares your body, purifies your energy channels, and creates the safe conditions for this force to begin to rise gradually and harmoniously, bringing vitality, creativity, and an expanded perception of reality. Breathing then ceases to be merely a tool for managing stress. It becomes the remote control of your own vital energy. You learn to modulate your internal frequency, clear blockages, and direct your creative force wherever you want. You begin to understand, in practice, that you are not a victim of circumstances. You are a creator, and your breath is the most powerful tool you possess to shape your reality from the inside out. But for this energy to flow, it is necessary to dissolve the most fundamental illusion of all, the illusion of the self. The sound that dissolves the self. As the energy begins to move, you encounter the greatest obstacle of all: your own ego, the idea of a separate self that is in control of everything. And to dissolve this illusion, mystics developed a powerful sound technology. In their often secret meetings, they practiced something called dhikr, which means remembrance. The goal was not to remember something from the past, but to remember your true nature, your connection to the divine. And the tool for this was the synchronization of breath with sound. Imagine a group of people sitting in a circle, in rhythm with their hearts and breaths. With each inhalation, they would chant a sound of negation, like La ilaha, an Arabic phrase meaning, "There is no God," or "There is no reality." This act of inhaling negation was a way of emptying the mind of all concepts, all beliefs, all ideas of a separate or external power. It was a cut, a sharp blade, clearing the terrain of consciousness of all illusions. Then, with the exhalation, came the affirmation, Ilallah, which means accept God or accept the one reality. Upon exhaling, they affirmed the unity of all things, the truth that there is only one consciousness manifesting in everything. The breath, combined with sound and intention, became a powerful double-edged sword, cutting through the illusion of separation and revealing the unity that underlies all creation. It was not a mechanical repetition, but surgery on the soul. This practice is not exclusive to a single tradition. Tibetan monks use mantras, yogis use the sound Om, and many other cultures have discovered that certain sound vibrations, when combined with breath, have the power to reprogram consciousness. Sound acts like a tuning fork, causing your body's cells and energy field to vibrate at a higher, more harmonious frequency. It opens what the Sufis call the qalb, the heart, which for them is not the physical organ, but a subtle center of spiritual perception. When that spiritual heart opens, knowledge ceases to be something you learn from books and becomes a direct experience, a certainty that springs from within. You no longer believe in unity, you feel it. You realize at a deep level that there is no separate self breathing here. There is only the breath happening, the universe breathing through the vessel you once called yourself. The illusion of the individual controlling everything begins to dissolve. But how can we practically apply this ancient technology to our modern world without needing to participate in complex rituals or learn ancient languages? The key lies in the principle, not the form. The key is understanding that you can use your own voice, your own breath, to create a vibration that dissolves the ego and connects you with something greater. And this leads us directly to the central point, the practical technique that unites everything we've discussed so far, the forbidden technique of Thoth. The forbidden technique of Thoth. The time has come to put all the pieces of the puzzle together. We've talked about the ancient code, the bridge of breath, the emotional armor, the map of the 4 seasons, the master key of the vagus nerve, and the sound that dissolves the ego. Now, let's bring it all together in the core practice, the secret of wind in the belly, the hidden breath of Thoth. And the first thing you need to understand is that it goes against everything you've learned about how to breathe. It's not a short breath in the chest, nor a forced breath through the nose. It's a deep, diaphragmatic, abdominal breath. It's the baby's breath, the natural breath we lose throughout life. And here's a step-by-step guide on how to do it. Sit or lie down in a comfortable position. Place one hand on your chest and the other on your stomach. The goal is that as you breathe, the hand on your chest barely moves, while the hand on your stomach rises and falls. This is the first sign that you're doing it right, directing the air to the lower part of your lungs. Now, the technique itself. When inhaling through your nose, don't think about filling your chest. Think about expanding your abdomen as if it were a balloon. Visualize the air energy, prana, being drawn not only into your lungs, but directly into the center of your body, to the area around your navel, the solar plexus. Feel your belly expand forward, to the sides and even backward. You are literally carrying the wind in your belly, as the ancient text says. After inhaling fully, we arrive at the second stage. The pause. Hold your breath for a few seconds. But it's not a tense pause. It's an active pause. During this moment, slightly contract the muscles of the pelvic floor and lower abdomen, as if you were pushing the energy upwards and inwards, towards the solar plexus. You are compressing and concentrating the energy you have just collected, increasing its power like a magnifying glass focusing sunlight on a single point. Next, exhale. Release the air slowly through your mouth or nose in a controlled manner. As you exhale, maintain a slight contraction in your abdomen, feeling a warmth and strength spreading from your center to your entire body. You are not just releasing air. You are distributing the energy you have concentrated. Feel this energy vitalizing every cell, every organ, and then the final pause in the void before beginning the next cycle. A moment of silence and integration. This is the practice. This is the alchemical process of gestating the monad. It's not about seeking something outside of yourself, but about cultivating the treasure that already resides within. By repeating this cycle, you are nurturing your divine spark, feeding it with conscious energy until it grows and becomes a living, radiant presence within you. You are, literally, giving birth to yourself, and this practice becomes the most powerful antidote against the greatest evil of the modern age: anxiety. The mind of modern humans lives in a state of civil war. It is constantly jumping between regrets and past grievances and fears and worries about the future. It is rarely, if ever, present in the only moment that truly exists: the now. This state of mental fragmentation is the root cause of anxiety, that constant feeling of tightness in the chest, that something is wrong, that danger is always lurking. It is self-imposed suffering, a vicious cycle that feeds on itself. Conscious breathing, especially the technique you just learned, doesn't offer a magic answer or an intellectual solution to your problems. It offers something infinitely more powerful: presence. Think about it for a second. You can't breathe yesterday's air. It's gone. You can't breathe tomorrow's air. It hasn't arrived yet. You can only breathe the air of this exact moment, this indisputable and absolute now. Each breath is a direct portal to the present moment. Presence is the ultimate antidote to anguish, not because it makes problems disappear, but because it creates an inner space of awareness around them. When anxiety arises, instead of being completely swallowed by it, you learn to observe it. You, the consciousness, become the vast and unchanging sky, while anxiety, thoughts, and emotions are merely passing clouds. They may be dark and frightening, but they cannot harm the sky. They simply pass. By practicing abdominal breathing, you are constantly anchoring yourself in this space of presence. Every time the mind tries to drag you to the past or the future, the simple act of focusing on the sensation of air entering and leaving your belly brings you back home, to the now. You discover, through your own experience, the most liberating truth of all. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are the silent consciousness that witnesses all of this. This discovery changes the game completely. Anxiety loses its power over you because you stop identifying with it. It may still appear, but now you see it for what it is. Just energy and sensations moving through your body. You learn to embrace it without being consumed by it. Breath becomes your anchor, your safe harbor in the midst of the storm. And with each breath, you return to that vastness, to that tranquility that is your true nature. And it is from this state of presence that you begin to understand one of the deepest concepts of spirituality. The idea that emptiness is not something to be feared, but rather the source of all creation. You realize that, to fill yourself with the new, you first need to empty yourself of the old. And breath, once again, is the key to accessing this creative power of emptiness, a power that modern society has taught you to fear. The great mystic poet Rumi told a story about a bamboo flute. It sings a sad, longing melody because it has been cut from its original source, its connection to the earth, and, more importantly, it can only become an instrument and produce music because it has been emptied of its core. It is in this empty space that the musician's breath can enter, flow, and transform into song. Rumi was telling us that we human beings are exactly like this flute, separated from our source and yet full of potential. Our modern society teaches us the exact opposite. It tells us to fill every space, every second. Fill your time with work, your silence with music, your emptiness with entertainment, your mind with information. We confuse being full with being complete, but the wise of all ages have taught the opposite. Only an empty cup can be filled with something new. The fullness of life cannot enter a space that is already crammed with old things. Breathing, in its deepest essence, is the practice of this principle. With each complete exhalation, you are practicing emptying. You are releasing stale air, tensions, worries, the clinging self. You are dissolving, surrendering, creating an inner vacuum. And with each inhalation, you allow the universe to fill this vacuum with new energy, with life, with possibilities. In this constant rhythm of emptying and filling, you are not just breathing, you are recreating yourself at every moment. This is the alchemical principle of solve et coagula. Dissolve and coagulate. Dissolve the old, the rigid, the ego, and coagulate the new, the pure energy, the expanded consciousness.
And now, before this message ends, understand this clearly. The wind in the belly was never a myth, never superstition, and never metaphor. It was a precise biological key. The ancients knew that when breath descends below the heart, into the solar plexus, the navel, the womb of creation, you are no longer breathing to survive. You are breathing to remember. Thoth called it the breath that turns flesh into light. Not through force, not through belief, but through alignment. When the wind circulates correctly, the nervous system becomes coherent, the mind becomes silent, and the monad, your unified self, switches online. This is why modern culture keeps you breathing shallow, anxious, and distracted. A shallow breath creates a fragmented human. A deep, circular breath creates a sovereign one. No priest can do this for you. No institution can grant it. No book can replace it. This activation happens in the privacy of your own body, in the stillness between inhalation and exhalation, where time briefly collapses. So tonight, or tomorrow at dawn, place your awareness in the belly. Let the wind descend. Let it spiral. Do not chase visions. Do not force awakening. Just allow the ancient intelligence already inside you to rise, because the monad was never hidden in the sky. It was sealed inside your breath. And once you activate it, you don't escape the world. You outgrow it.